workshop and a poster designing competition, which would be our last event. So today we have Miss Alka from JP Morgan. She will be telling us about experiences, and it would be a really exciting experience for all of us to hear about what she is going to say. And I think we have Sarthak and Kshitij Saini from Dot Question Mark. They are our session partners, and really it's been exciting working with them. And thank you, Sarthak and Kshitij, for making this possible, making this event possible. And I think we all should really sit down and listen to what ma'am has to say. So I hand you the mic, ma'am.
Thank you, Aviral. Can you guys hear me fine? See me fine?
Yes, ma'am, you are clearly audible and visible.
Okay. All right. Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me. It's really good to be back on UPS, even virtually, but it feels great. So, and thank you, Kshitish, for reaching out to me on LinkedIn and the entire organizing committee of Smart Analysis. So about me, I'll just say the few words like what I do and where do I work and my experience in UPS and in the IT company. So I was in UPS in 2013 to 17 batch, and I graduated in electronics and communication. Since I was from an electronics background, but then too, the UPS scenario, I got placed in L&T Infotech at first. And after that, I have worked with a couple of companies like JP Morgan, and currently I'll be moving to EXL, which is again an analytics company. So far, my journey has been overall in the analytics domain only, means revolving around data. At times, it was just data analysis. At times, it was just the reporting kind of work, and at times it was the entire full stack kind of thing. So it has been a mixture, but more or less my role has been surrounded around data since the start. So that's about my experience so far, and I get it that everyone here is a data enthusiast, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Most of
Yes.
us are data science enthusiasts, and we would also like to
Okay.
know about your UPS journey as well. How was UPS for you, and how was
Yeah.
the transition from college to industry for you?
Yeah, sure. So in UPS, like I said, I was in electronics domain. So our subject, we had couple of subjects in computer science, but to be honest, I used to resent coding from the very start. So I did not want to take an IT job to begin with, but then we got L&T on campus, and I think only 4 people from my batch were selected, and I was one of them. So I just took it just like that. But when I started L&T, we had a rigorous training, and whatever I learned in UPES was, not very useful there. But of course, the discipline and all the routine things that we used to do, like assignments. So it formed a kind of discipline. But in terms of the technology, we had to learn everything from scratch. Like when I joined L&T, we were divided into groups. Like in electronics, like I said, there were only 4 people. So we were the only people who were from non-CS background. And there were a couple of, I believe, 60 or 70 students who were from CS. So we were divided into batches, and we were trained from the scratch. Like I was trained on SQL, C Sharp, and I think HTML, CSS, and some more front end languages. But once the training got over, I was deployed to a project which was completely different, and it was a database project. And also, it had extensive use of visualization techniques like Excel, Power BI. So that way, my project kept changing, and along the project, I kept learning. It was not like I knew everything from day one. So it was on the project that I learned most of the things what I know right now. So that was it about LNT. And after that, I joined JP Morgan. And yeah, it was more in JP Morgan. It was mostly surrounded by banking. The work was kind of, mundane because maybe it's an established company and all the technologies are already there. So I also feel like that for starters, whenever we are, just fresh out of the college, we should always focus on the kind of work we are taking rather than the kind of brand we are supposed to join. So that is my personal experience. And what else? You guys can ask me the query. I'm really new to this session thing, but I would really encourage you to ask questions. I see some of
Thank,
the
thank you.
people.
Thank you, ma'am. And I would really ask the participants to be interactive and ask your queries so that.
Yeah, yeah. So I see Kshitij has asked, what is your day-to-day work like at JP Morgan? So currently, I have recently resigned from JP Morgan and I would be joining EXL. But in JP Morgan, it was, JP Morgan lent to people, and I was in the business banking team. So it was more of a commercial loan that we had to analyze the risk for. So we got the data for every day. There was a huddle meeting at 1 when we joined, and then we get to decide that okay, where are we lagging, and what do we have to what we have on agenda for today. And after that, we got in some ad hoc requests. When I say ad hoc requests, so apart from the um, it was more of a reporting kind of role. Like we had to analyze the data that we had associated with loan and then give our input. Like, if let's say if a new company comes in and approach JP Morgan that, okay, we want a loan for, let's say, 1 billion. So the first process is to analyze what kind of risk is there with a certain company, and there is a whole lot of process for that. And I worked on that data only and analyzed, okay, is the company paying their loans timely? What is the recovery rate? Are they backed by any government plans? Things like that. So we had to consider all that while making the reports or analyzing any data or giving any insight of that sort. So after that, we came to certain conclusion, then release our report to the C. I was reporting to the CEO office directly. So it was, it was very, I would say, very out there, and you have to be really proactive in that role. So that was there. And apart from that, it was mostly around data, like take your data, clean it first using the ETL technologies, query your data is using SQL, then make the analysis on visualization tool like Power BI, Cognos. In mostly in banks, we had SAS, but in JP Morgan, we were migrating all our reports to from SAS to Power BI. So yeah, but mostly it's SAS in all of the banks and other visualization tool like Tableau and certain automation using Python, things like that. So that is how a day-to-day work in JP Morgan like. Okay. Another question. How can we join JP Morgan and any interview tip? Plus, it would be very helpful. Okay. So for like I'll tell you how I got into JP Morgan. So the thing is, like I was working with LNT previously, and I have around 3.5 years of experience already when I joined JP Morgan. So it's relatively easier for the experienced people because we have people in the organization working already. The networking, and if somebody puts you through referral, that is easy. But for fresher to start, I would say LinkedIn is the best platform to get any job, not just JP Morgan, for any company for that matter. So I would say start networking on LinkedIn, and whatever profile you want. Let's say you want to join JP Morgan as a data analyst. So firstly, before applying, I would say take 2-3 months, see what kind of JD do JP Morgan has in data analyst, and jot down the technologies that they are looking for. Read up to that, and firstly find out if you are really interested in doing that kind of job. And after once you figured it out, then reach out to people who are already working there. Tell them to put you on a referral, and yeah, just that. If your resume is shortlisted, then they have for fresher, I think they have 5 rounds of interview. The first one is online test, and after that they have one coding round. Then third one is a technical face-to-face round. Fourth one is technical, and it's sort of a techno-functional round. And the last round is HR discussion, where you discuss the CTC and everything. They know where are you coming from, and what are your expectations. They set their expectations also, so that is there. So yeah, it's like that. But yeah, I think LinkedIn is the best place to start with, and especially for freshers. And you can also join. There are so many groups on LinkedIn, like data related. I'll ping the link once this session is over. There are so many communities where people give you referrals, and you can also ask your doubts there. So it's really helpful to start with LinkedIn. Okay. Third question is, tell us more about business analytics and optimization specialization. Okay. So when you say, Anubhav had asked this question. So Anubhav, when you said about business analytics and optimization specialization, is it the branch in UPS? Like, are you in this domain?
Yes, ma'am. Business analytics and optimization is a branch in UPS where the students are taught things
Okay.
like Tableau and the Spark and
Yeah, yeah,
business analytics tool
yeah,
from the very beginning. So,
yeah,
how will business analytics optimization help them in achieving a good position? And as you said, you were new to these things completely, but they
yeah,
are being
yeah,
taught
right.
these things since the beginning of their college. So, how will
Yeah,
it help them in grabbing an opportunity, and what will be the beneficial for them?
yeah. Obviously, it would be an additional advantage if you already know the technologies. But to be honest, in my like I graduated in 2017, and we had so many people from the same domain. Like they already knew Python, Tableau, and Cognos, etc. But what happens for most of the IT companies, and even for the product-based companies, they I'm not sure about the product-based company, but at least for IT and the banks, they first, if you are joining them as a fresher, they'll first train you on the technology. And it is possible that someone who has already knowledge on Tableau or anything related to business analytics, they will not necessarily get that kind of project, but the kind of projects they are being trained on. So mostly it depends on the JD that you are applying to, and it will give you an edge, but not sure about the kind of projects that would get. That entirely depends when you enter the organization, what are their requirements and things like that. But once you join the project, of course, this will come in handy, and you will be always ahead. So I hope that answers your question, Anubhav. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ashu, would you like to ask by turning your mic on?
Just a second. There are so many questions. So Yash is asking, tell us about the blockchain technology. Well, I am from data background, and all I know about blockchain is that it's trending right now and people are learning. So I won't be able to tell you much about it, but I know it's a in-demand technology. So of course, learning that would be helpful. Cloud computing, yes. Cloud computing, like it's a very generic term, cloud computing thing. But of course, since we a lot of data coming in, we obviously need more storage, and most of the companies are moving to cloud. Like I use Power BI currently, and there has been so many things that has been embedded into Power BI, like moving all the things to Azure Gen 2 storage. So that's there, and AWS is there. So all of the technologies related to cloud, they are in demand and obviously very helpful. Even if you do anything with data, so cloud computing will come in very handy if you know it very, very well. And Daniel is asking, ma'am, what is JP Morgan? I'm confused. So JP Morgan is an investment banking firm, and it helps basically, it's not like their services are not in India. They help people and the organization to get, they provide loans with or without collateral. So that's there. Sure. Keshav is asking what job profile is better to start with JP Morgan, technical or non-technical? Okay. So Keshav, mostly depends on what exactly do you want to work on. I would say in like what is your priority basically. If you are from a technology background and if you want to move in that portfolio, then technical is a great way to start. And I won't say that data field is entirely technical, because apart from the technologies that you have to have a great knowledge on the functions and the knowledge of the domain. Like, I have worked on finance, manufacturing, health, and now I'll be working on healthcare domain. So what I have observed, apart from the technologies that so you need to have the domain knowledge as well. So that's there. And if you want, like, if somebody wants to do an MBA, so for that, in my personal opinion, I think it's always great to start with technical. And if you absolutely, like, I used to hate coding. I don't know how many of you can relate it. I don't know, because I think most of the people here are from CS type background, but I did not like coding at all. But data is a great way to start, because you can start as just as knowing the SQL, and SQL is just basic query language. It's plain English, and Python is relatively easier as well. So I would say it's always, in my personal opinion, I think it's a great way to start with a technical field, because whenever, even if you plan on going for an MBA, then if you have a technical degree, you will have, there are certain marks associated with all the degree and all the work ex that you have. So it's always great to start with technical because it has more points. And also, if you see these days, if you open LinkedIn and see any job description, let's say for a data engineer at LinkedIn, if there is a job opening for data engineer at LinkedIn, then they are asking for an MBA along with the work experience in data. So yeah, even if you go for non-technical, so at some point of time you will have to learn some amount of coding. So yeah, I think technical. So Keshav, do you have anything else to ask? I know it's a very difficult thing to decide whether you want to go for technical or non-technical.
You
So
just currently said that MBA will help after the BTech thing. But what is more preferred, to do MBA directly after BTech, or take some of the experience and technical skills and then stop your job profile and then pursue MBA? So what would be more beneficial?
no, I would say it's definitely for any master's degree. It's great to have work ex and then go for it, because I see there are very there are very they're very technology oriented MBA these days. Even if you see like ISB and everything, they have the analytics course and the data course in their MBA curriculum as well. Even for MS, they are entirely technology oriented, but it's great to have some work experience and then move to MBA. Also, when you do your masters, I don't know if you are planning to do from India or from abroad. In India, at least, they will always prefer the candidates who have some experience already in the industry over a fresher. So it's always great to have some experience, then go for masters. Okay, I hope I answered your questions. Okay, moving ahead, Ashu is asking, what is something that is fundamentally essential to join the corporate world? I don't
Hello,
know.
ma'am.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, hi Ashu.
hi, ma'am. So, I just wanted to know what qualities one should must have to not only join the corporate world, but also to sustain yourself there and to make sure that you can stand out from the rest. Because there's a lot of competition out there, and you must have some kind of things that basically makes you better. Because there's a lot of it's basically a race, and you have to do your work and you have to do your thing. So just wanted to know that you have a lot of experience with the corporate world. So just
Yeah.
wanted to know what you do and on daily basis that you are so well equipped with the technologies and everything that goes around. So
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, Ashu. So you are from CS background, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So you are already on an edge, Ashu. But I would just say one thing that I've analyzed when I joined L&T as a fresher. So one thing I have analyzed, which is most important, that whatever technologies you are getting, just don't compromise on the technologies that you want to work with. Like I have seen there were so many people, like L&T is an IT company, right? So there are so many people who joined and then they were on bench for some time. You know what a bench is, right? I think CS people would know. Like one the situation when the company does not have much project for to assign people, so that is the bench. So there were so many people that were on bench and they were just chilling and doing their own thing, basic because they were getting the salary. So I would say just be very open to learning, and along with that, do not compromise on the technology that you are getting. Like I was trained on SQL.NET, but I knew that I don't want to get myself into the whole full stack thing. So I went to the HR and multiple times actually, and I told them that I want to work in this that. So first thing is you have to be very vocal about what you need in the corporate world, and second thing is as um, you know I think many people would deny it, but I'll just be honest that for a moment to be in the tech is it's a little difficult because I don't remember the times when I have been told you seriously wrote this code by yourself. So you just have to ignore those things and just be a little thick-skinned, be vocal and know what you're doing really well and speak up, because people tend to take credit for your work and you say okay, I'll say it in the next meeting or I'll inform my manager later. But don't do that. Just be vocal and do your work and take ownership basically. Even in since we are working in tech, so there might be a scenario where you have done the code and it was working when you tried it, like but at the time of production the code is simply not working. So just take ownership and just that. I think it is more important than knowing the technologies, and surviving in the corporate, it's really really important.
Yes, ma'am. I understand, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening, Rishi.
Ma'am, actually, I have a doubt. We just discussed about the MBA after BTech. So it's just like if I'm a guy from CS, who is
Yeah.
basically in codes and computers, in technical background, then why the MBA is to be done? Why there is need for
Sorry,
MBA?
why? No, exactly. No, not really. Masters is not required because if you see work X is definitely preferred over master degrees. But for some companies, like if you see, I'm talking about the big ones, bank like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Apple. If you see, they don't really need the masters. If, even nowadays, even degree is not required. So MBA is not that necessary, but yeah, if you want to shift your domain slightly towards management, and if that is what your interests are, then yeah, you should go for an MBA. And it's a master degree, so it won't go into waste. But yeah, it's a little like techno functional kind of thing. So if you plan on doing something like that, then you can definitely think of an MBA.
Okay, if I think I should go for some management kind of job related with taking my course also side by side, then it's a good thing.
Sorry, Rishi, your voice broke in between what you were saying.
I was just saying that going for MBA is preferable when if you want to go for the corporate with the management kind of thing with the course.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
So even, for example, in my team, there were people who did their MBA and BTech, but they were also doing the same kind of job that I was doing. So MBA is not necessary, but yeah, if you want to if you want to make big decision, like you want to be analytics head and you want to decide like if a requirement comes in and you want to decide what kind of license would you be using, what kind of technologies do you want to use to derive at this project. So yeah, in that case, of course, you should go for an MBA.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, hi Aman.
Ma'am, can you hear
Good
me?
evening.
Yeah. Actually, my is not regarding like data analytics or anything like that, but my question is in general. Like in India, don't you think like
Yeah.
machine learning, and ma'am, correct me if I'm wrong, like don't you think like machine learning and artificial intelligence is just a buzzword, like, and like because it's kind of overrated in India, like, so then what I wanna know.
Yeah, I won't say overrated, but the thing is, what I feel, people generally don't know what is data, like what is the different kind of, what is data engineer, what is a machine learning engineer, what is data analyst do, things like that. Uh, so how many of you know what is the difference between data engineer, data analyst, and data scientist? Everyone does, or no one does? Okay.
Can
So,
I?
what do you think? Kshitij, Sahai, what do you think is the difference?
Should I answer?
Yeah, sure, sure.
So, ma'am, like data engineer, what I think like pre-process the data, like cleaning and knowledge discovery diagram,
Mhm.
like kind of cleaning, data pre-processing before the final process. And data scientist is like that.
Aman, you are on mute, I guess.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, according to me, like data engineer are the person like who pre-processing of data, such as cleaning of data and data warehousing kind of thing. And
Right,
scientist can be, yeah, and data scientist can be that person like who produces insights of data, whether it's whether from machine learning, neural network stuff, or whether using visualization techniques such as Tableau and Power BI. So, like, according to me, that.
yeah. So you are right, but the data analyst does the same thing. They also create insights, and sometimes data analyst also does the cleaning stuff. They also process the ETL thing. They also take care of the data warehousing. So coming to your question, in India, the thing is people are not very clear with the titles. If you open LinkedIn and Google data engineering jobs, you'll also get to the roles of data analyst, data scientist, everything. So people are not people are not very clear about the what exactly a data engineer does, and they want, I would say it's like a full stack of data combining all the three, and sometimes they even involve the machine learning techniques as well. So that is that people are not very clear because data, it has just come into limelight for from the past 10 years, I guess. So it's not out there in the open. Like for full stack in Java, for someone who is working in Java, we have a clear idea that what kind of work a full stack would do, or what kind of work a front end engineer would do. So things like that is not very clear in the data technology right now. But the big companies like Facebook, Google, if you read their job descriptions, it's evidently clear. And yeah, coming to it's hyped, the machine learning and AI. It's not hyped actually, but the thing is, if you see the online learning platforms, every other person is offering either machine learning course or data analysis course, and everyone, once they complete it, they will post it on LinkedIn. But what I think is, it does not cut to the chase. Like, industry is not looking for your certifications, they are looking for the kind of work that you have done and what have you made. Or like, if you know Python, then what have you made from Python. So things like that, so that is also there.
Yeah, ma'am. The basis of my question was because when you like we see lots of like courses, master courses, and everything like that, on AI and ML. But the thing is,
Yeah.
when you go for job opportunity, you don't get much opportunity. Like till the like in like IT sector in India, what I think like still didn't migrated to like AI ML kind of. We don't get offered that job offer. So that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
know, because you're working in tech,
So
so that's why. Thank you.
yeah, no, it's not like that we don't have work on machine learning. Like, in the data, like, the data scientists work on training ML models all the time, and even the data analyst does. So it's not like we don't have work on machine learning and AI. But yes, for freshers who are just fresh out of college, you might not see those opportunities. But once the criteria right now for you guys should be to get into tech and try to get into data. If you really want to, if you want to become an ML engineer and you are not getting that post right now, so you can join as a data analyst or a reporting analyst for that matter. And within the companies, there are so many opportunities. If you join a good firm and learn it, then there are so many opportunities through internal job posting that you can switch your domain. If you want to be a machine learning analyst, if you want to go to AI, there are so many opportunities. You just have to choose a good firm, and you have to choose a firm which will like give you options and which have great works, and not just the brand. If a company is very well known in the market, so that does not mean that you will get enough opportunities there. So I would say, for starters, when you're fresh out of college, try choosing a company which is known for their which are more employee centric, and they have good clients. Like, for example, for now, in the analytics domain I'm talking, Fractal AI. Have you guys heard about Fractal Analytics?
Ma'am, is it related to like doctors like TekTok? I've heard.
No, no, no. Fractal Analytics is it's a relatively smaller firm. Like, it's analytics firm. If you Google top 10 companies to work for analytics in India, then Fractal is number 2. First one is MU Sigma. Why I'm not talking about MU Sigma is because I have heard that MU Sigma, the world's work culture is a little bit harsh there. Like, there is so many workloads. So Fractal is a good place to start with, and they are hiring freshers also. Like, the hiring is going on, so you can try for that. And there are Bridge Eye to Eye Analytics, and then there is Tiger Analytics. So if you want to get into data, you can start with these companies rather than going for service-based big companies. So their work is good. So if you want to learn something and you have made your mind that you want to progress in this field, then these are the companies that are great to start.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi,
Hello.
Abhishek.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
I have a question. What is the difference between a data analyst and data engineering? And what are the job difference in the job or their work?
Okay. So basically, data analyst is a more front-ending role. like when I say front end, I don't mean on the basis of the technologies. Front ending, like it involves more interaction to the client. And what a data engineer basically does, they are mostly cleaning the data, prepping the data for the data scientist and the data analyst to use. They are maintaining the data warehouses of the company. For example, if any client is approaching any company, they would have some historical data or they would have some present data. But what a data engineer does, they take care of how data needs to be maintained, and for how many years of data do we want. Like if a company would have like 20-25 years of data, right? So if we are working with data, we might need them and we might not need them. So that decision is for the data engineer to be made. And what part of data do we want to archive? What part of data do we want to keep it at bay, or what kind of data we simply want to just eliminate or decommission? So that is more of a data engineering job, and it's basically all surrounding around database and the query languages. While for the data analyst, they get ideally the data analyst should get the clean data and the prep data, and then they should visualize it or automate it using Python. But here in India, the scenario is the data analyst also have to, like, I am a data analyst, but I also have to clean the data, prep the data according to the need, and generate reports, and just cater the ad hoc requests that we get from the leadership. So that's there. And create insights, like if we are handling some sales data. So if we compare year to year sale, then if we know that, okay, this like for example in 2015 the sale was this, and 2020 the sale is that, and if the 2020 sale is somewhere down than 2015, then what a data analyst does is they will find what are the contribution factors. Is the demand low, or is there some there is some defect with the product, or in general anything, is the costing high, so things like that. So we create a report and then we draw an analysis. So that is what a data analyst does. So data analyst does everything basically, in India at least.
Where in both the jobs, what are the मतलब क्या कहते हैं उसको कि मतलब किसमें opportunities ज़्यादा है किसमें?
अपॉर्चुनिटीज दोनों में ही ज्यादा है एक्चुअली, क्योंकि अगर आप देखोगे तो इंडिया में डेटा इंजीनियरिंग की भी आपको जॉब्स उतनी ही दिखेंगी, डेटा एनालिस्ट की भी उतनी ही दिखेंगी, क्योंकि इंडिया में पीपल आर लाइक दे वांट एवरीथिंग इन अ सिंगल पर्सन. तो इंडिया में अभी इतना बाइफिकेशन नहीं है दैट अगर तुम डेटा इंजीनियर हो तो यू कैन नॉट गेट हायर्ड एज अ डेटा एनालिस्ट इन द different firm, और अगर तुम डेटा एनालिस्ट हो तो you can't be hired as a data engineer. It's not there, it's not that specific. So basically दोनों में ही स्कोप है, and data for any, even a reporting analyst does have the same scope as a data analyst. So yeah, depends, मतलब स्कोप है दोनों में.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And Harshit is asking, what can be a good approach to get into data science field in India, like if we are not from that background? So yeah, I'll tell you what I think, but it can vary from person to person, like what is your approach of getting into any technology. But I would say, firstly, I think we should learn a coding language really well. Then in data science, we have Python and we have R. So personally, I think Python would be the great choice. So when you're learning Python, and you guys are from CS background, you might be knowing any other language. So for you guys, I think it should take 4 to 6 weeks. And for other person, a little more than that. But I think you should be very good at any of the programming languages first, and preferably Python. I won't say R because R is a great language, of course, but if you, from the industry aspect, most people use Python because we have Python full stack developers as well. So even if we want to leverage a Python developer who is already in the company, so we can do that. So that is why I think most companies prefer a Python person. And once you are, when I say learning Python, I don't mean that taking up a course on Udemy or taking up a course on Quora. I mean the practical thing, like making things in Python. And second thing is you should be like really, really good in stats and probability, because we, as a data analyst, we have to use a lot of math in our day-to-day activity. And third thing, you should be good in any of the visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau, Cognos, or ClickView. But mostly, I see people are headed towards Power BI and Tableau generally because it's very flexible and works well with the agile framework that we use in the industry. So yeah, that's there. And once you are okay with the visualization tool, you can start learning a little bit of ML or natural language processing. And yeah, like that's about it. So these are the few basic things that is required to get started in the data field. After once you are like well equipped with everything, how they work, you then after that you have to integrate it and work on some project which uses all of the following. So there is this website, I'll type in the chat box. Kaggle. Have you guys heard about Kaggle? Yeah, yeah. So you guys already know. So I think Kaggle is the best way to learn the data, anything related to data. Kaggle is the best way because they have so many projects. You can do your own analysis or get help from the someone online. And another way is to participate in the data hackathons and join some communities on LinkedIn, so things like that. So that's where you can get started, make something on your own, and then yeah, maintain your portfolio, and then you can apply for the job opportunities. Welcome. Anything else? Anyone? For first years and freshers now, what should be the approach to study machine learning? Okay. For first year and freshers, I won't say you go and study machine learning from the start. I would say just get your basics right, learn a programming language and learn it really, really good. So first year is too soon to decide like what you're gonna do. If you know it very, very good, like that appreciable. But explore the technologies, I would say, learn a programming language really good. And after once you are done with the make things on based on the programming language, participate in the hackathon. And with uh, actually UPS, I see we have now a community dedicated entirely to data, so yeah, leverage that. And just learn a programming language, and after that you can start with ML. There are so many platforms which create a competition where we have to train a certain ML model, and Kaggle also, we have competitions on Kaggle also, and there are certain YouTube channels. So you can explore that and find out if you really want to learn ML or AI. AI is also good, and if any visualization tool, if you want to be a business intelligence. So you can explore all of that because everything is surrounded around data, all of these things that we are talking about. So you can just explore that and learn everything. The real learning will come in the industry. So no one is as a fresher, no one will expect you to know everything. So even now, when I join a new project, so they train me for like 2-3 days or a week, depending on the kind of project we have. And once you are in data field, it is not necessary that the work will be surrounded around the technologies that you already know. For example, uh, for some projects, they tell me, okay, for the next project, you need to learn Open Text Archive or you need to learn SAP BO. So, it's as long as you are in the IT industry, you have to learn all the time. You have to keep up with the changing trends and technologies, which is what make the IT world fun, right? So yeah, you can do that. Kshitiz is asking, okay, Aviral ma'am in our college, we have this project right now. Most of us are clueless about that. Okay, so you guys now have machine learning from first year, is it?
Yes,
In
ma'am, we
overall
have.
specialization are being taught from first year only, like machine learning, be it cloud computing or be it some of the other domain. They are being taught from the very first year.
Okay, that's, I don't know if that's great or what, but yeah, if there is, yeah, try to, you know, learn it. But I would say just learn one coding language good and learn it really, really good. So that solves almost 80% of the problem that we face in the industry. So that would do. And if you are getting subjects like ML in the college, so yeah, just leverage that, take in whatever you can, but don't put too much pressure on yourself that you need to know all of the ML, because ML is something which even the industry's expert who are in the field for more than 10 years, they would not know that what ML is exactly. Like, they won't know the entire ML thing. So yeah, you can take it slowly and just consume whatever you can. Yeah, just don't take so much pressure. Yeah, that's all I meant. And Chit is asking, what is the difference between business analyst and data analyst? Yeah, very good question. So basically, what a business analyst does is they will take in the requirement of clients and they translate it into technologies. Like, whenever a client is approaching a firm, they are generally salespeople, and they would not know that what technology you should use, and what is, they would just know the budget and they would just know the requirement. So what a business analyst does is, along with the salespeople, the business analyst sit with the client and they take out the requirement, translate into the technology terms, and they give the requirement to the data team. So that's what a business analyst do. It's more of a managerial type of job along with the data analyst. So it's a very good role, actually, the business analyst one. And you need to be very thorough for domain. More than technology, you need to be very thorough with the domain knowledges like finance, healthcare, etc. So that is the difference. And the data analyst, like I said, it is just playing around with data, generating insights, and cleaning up your data, things like that. When you were in your third year, where did you do your internship from and which domain? Yeah,
Hi,
Anushka, when I was in, yeah, hi Anushka. When I was in third year, I did my internship from a technology, from a company in Noida, which was Dixon Technologies. And honestly, it was supposed to be a month's training, but we were just like given the certificate in 3 days. So
okay.
it was a internship from college. So that was just for the sake of doing it, but I did not learn much. But in that time, I took up some courses from Internshala and tried to learn coding.
Okay. In which domain should we like do internship?
Internship does not really matter much if you are like, they would just see the work they won't. At times, what happens when a fresher, like, even when I take interviews, so at times what happens, we don't even ask a fresher that what technologies have you worked in your internship. We just see the work experience. So that's about it. So does not matter. I would say explore. You might like that technology better. If you have interest in data right now, and you are getting internship in some other technology, maybe you might like that better. So I would say you can explore and find out what your interests are.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. What challenges did you face while switching companies? No, because I was in LNT for more than 3 years, so did not face much of a challenge. Just the referral part and the resume shortlisting. And for the interviews, uh, if you fail an interview, just jot down those questions and get it prepared for the next one. It's like for experienced people, it's a lot easier, I would say. So yeah, I did not face much of a challenge. For now, I think you just need to get in any company. That's about it. Where learning is great, of course. So Brett is asking what should be the roadmap for getting internship in second year or in the tech time. But I won't be able to help you much in that because I struggled a lot in getting internship while I was in the college. So I think now that internet is very all over LinkedIn and Naukri. So I think you can get started by making connections. If there is an opening, you should just jot down the job ID and get a referral. So that would do. So basically, it's all about getting networking because in second year, it's really tough to get an internship in a tech giant, and you just need to have a good portfolio, and you can make some on Naukri or GitHub. That would do, I guess.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for like sharing your experiences with
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
I guess all of us here are uh, got their answers to the queries. Kshitij,
Yeah, I guess.
kind of machine learning models you built to. I think there's a question for you.
Where I could put it. So I am not able to find the question. What is the question, Aviral?
Just a second.
What kind of machine learning models you use to build risk models? And no, Chitil, unfortunately, as I said, in JP Morgan, everything is already at the place right now. So we just work around it. I haven't worked on machine learning models yet.
So I guess I request all of you to fill the feedback form for this event. And ma'am, I would like to tell you that we have a platform, a dedicated platform data camp, which is being provided with our society,
Yeah.
which by which you can like do courses on it. They're very nice courses, and
Okay.
so we in our college we are trying to develop uh, this environment for helping the people who would like to pursue a career like yourself. And then we have subjects like business analytics and machine learning and artificial intelligence right from the first year. But since that's what I asked you, like we don't have so much clue on how to study for those subjects. We have
Yeah.
machine learning in our course plan, but we don't know how to really approach, how to really apply those theoretical knowledge which we gain in the class. So that's a really big problem for all the first years and the freshers who are trying to jump in this domain. So
Yeah. So I would just say that you can rely more on the online learning portals that we have. And like you said, you guys already have a platform for that. So that's really great. And yeah, you can just practice what you learn. So that is the best way. And you can do mistakes and you will learn from that. In the industry, in fact, at times, just for a slight change in coding, we take the entire day, everyone. So yeah, you learn by your mistakes. So you can just keep doing that and learn on the online communities, I would say.
I would like to thank the event head Priya and also Mankirat and Meghna for being the organizers, and Anushka also. And thank you, ma'am, for like attending today's session, and
Thank
everyone for
you.
participating. And I would again request everyone to fill the feedback form, because this enables us to create more such events. And I would really like if you could join us again sometime and can have some interactive sessions. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye. Good luck everyone for your placements and learning.